So let's start with gratitude. Why gratitude? Gratitude is a practice that will help you see your days differently. And if you start the day with gratitude and if you end the day with gratitude, your days will be filled with positive things because you will be looking for what went right instead of looking for what went wrong. The more you practice gratitude, the more optimistic you will become. And one thing, when you feel grateful, you cannot feel anger or fear. So if you start the day with five things you're grateful for, then you can go up to 10 and then go up to 15. And if you had a bad day yesterday, then go higher. Force yourself to find all that went right. There is a little saying that this too shall pass phrase. This is from Abraham Lincoln. He used in a speech in 1859. It is important to see it because the reason why this is a little good anecdote is that it shows us that the circumstances should not always determine how we feel. So the legend goes that this monarch was trying to find the perfect words that could be used in any circumstance, and he hired all these wise men to find him the perfect phrase that could be used for anyone in any situation. And this is what they came up with. This too shall pass. This too shall pass should be used not only in bad situations, but in positive situations as well. We always use it when we're uncomfortable, when we're afraid, when we're in pain, but we should also use it when we're on top of the world, because when we're on top of the world, we need to be humble and we need to remember that that situation will also end. But if we practice this often enough, we will realize that eventually our state of mind should be independent from our circumstances. That is at least the goal. So I'm going to give you an example of a situation that can be seen in a positive light or in a negative light. Let's say we wake up late, we're furious, and we start saying, oh my God, I'm so stupid. Why did I stay up late last night? Why did I have that extra glass of wine? I'm a disaster. I always wake up late. I ruined my day. I'm not going to exercise. If I don't exercise, I'm going to gain weight and I'm going to be ugly and my day is ruined. Or, wow, my body needed that extra sleep. I will figure out my day and reorganize my duties. I will find a way to exercise later in the day and I will include my exercise later. I am glad that I had that extra glass of wine, and I don't do it every day, but it was a special occasion. I did enjoy my friend's company and that was a nurturing experience. Same situation, different self-talk. So there are two explanatory styles for circumstances, the optimistic and the pessimistic. So the optimistic is when something is isolated, it's one occasion and it's not personal. The pessimistic makes one situation absolute, permanent, and personal, all about me. So let's say I'm careless, something falls out of my hand and I break it. Instead of saying, oh my God, I'm so stupid, I always break everything all the time, which is not true. I should say, oh, I got careless, I need to pay more attention. In this particular occasion, I broke something. It will not happen again. Isolate the event, make it specific. To give you an example of how when we want to look for something, we will find it, and that's where the gratitude comes in. Let's just pretend this is a little story. I don't know if you've heard it before. This man is sitting outside of town and a foreigner comes along and he asks this man, if I want to live in this town, will I find hatred, enemies, battles, war, hunger, solitude, battles, arguments? And the guy says, yeah, I guess so. And the man says, well, I'm not going to live here. I'm leaving. And he goes somewhere else. Then later, another man comes along, another foreigner comes along, and he asks the same guy, if I stay in this town, will I find friends and health and wealth and abundance and harmony and peace and joy? And the guy says, yeah, I guess so. So we will find what we're looking for. We also need to focus on what we want and stay the course, because if we live our lives to please others, it will become very confusing. Especially if we were pessimistic and we're trying to be optimistic, then people around us might be confused. And when they see our new attitude, they might have some resistance towards it. So I would invite you, if someone is judgmental or limiting your new perspective, you can say out loud, I don't accept what you're saying, and then rephrase whatever that person said to you. Not in a confrontational manner, but just stating your ground and giving you the space to change and become a more optimistic person. And I will give you an example of why it is impossible to please everybody. And maybe you've also heard this story. There's this young boy and this old man, and they have a donkey, and they're walking, and they pass a town, and then this man sees them and says, oh, you're so stupid. You should be using the donkey. What do you want the donkey for? And they think, okay. And so the boy hops on the donkey, and they continue walking. A little bit later, someone sees him and he says, "Oh my God, that boy is so spoiled. Why are you on the donkey? You should let your grandfather sit on the donkey." And then the boy gets off the donkey and the old man gets on the donkey. They walk a little bit further and someone says, "That man, you're so abusive. You should let your grandchild sit on the donkey. Why are you on the donkey?" So in the end, they both get on the donkey and then someone sees him and says, "You're so abusive, poor donkey. You don't know how to treat animals." You see, it's impossible to please everybody. You will please some, but not others, and that's not the goal. So in order to change our thoughts and change our life, we need to understand Aristotelian logic. What does that look like? Well, there's a major premise, and the major premise is a strong one. And then the minor premise comes from the major premise. So the major premise here is we can control our thoughts. Would you agree? If you don't control your thoughts, then who does? You do. Someone can try to make you think a certain way, but at the end of the day, your thoughts belong to you. So if you can control your thoughts and your emotions depend on your thoughts, then you can also control your emotions. Let me give you an example. Let's say your dog dies and nobody told you. How can you be sad? You don't know your dog died. And then on top of that, you can know your dog died and you can think, I had this dog for many years. He had a good life. I was a good pet owner and I should be satisfied with myself and I should let go. That is your choice. It takes time, depends on a lot of circumstances, but that can also be done. So I'm going to give you a funny example just to make a statement, which is, of course, the boy-girl situation. Let's pretend that a boy and a girl are in a car, and the girl just all of a sudden says, "Oh my God, we've been dating for 6 months now." And the guy is quiet, and he's thinking, 6 months? Well, that was February. Oh, I took my car to the dealership in February. Maybe I need to take it again. And he's quiet. He's thinking about something that is not related to the relationship at all. And she's thinking, he's quiet. Maybe 6 months is too much. Maybe 6 months is too little. Maybe he's not interested. Maybe we should stop seeing each other. I mean, where is this relationship going? Are we going to get married? Are we going to have children? And she goes on, and he's thinking about the dealership and the car and the warranty and if they're going to respect the warranty or not. And then she all of a sudden says, maybe we should stop seeing each other. I'm not really sure about this relationship. There's no evidence of anything. She made all of that up in her mind. So if we can tame our thoughts, we can also tame our emotions. Those thoughts are fear thoughts. And if we breathe in, breathe out, we can also try not to think that way. And finally, I want to tell you something about language. I believe that language is extremely powerful, and I believe that if we observe our language, we can change our lives. And this is from my favorite musical, My Fair Lady, and this musical is based on Pygmalion, written by George Bernard Shaw, an Irish writer, and Pygmalion is from 1913. My favorite version of this is My Fair Lady from 1964, and there is a moment when Eliza is learning to say the rain in Spain, stays mainly in the plane, and it's 3 a.m. and she hasn't been able to understand what she's doing, and they're exhausted. But that moment, Professor Higgins stands up and he says this to her. Think what you're trying to accomplish. Just think what you're dealing with. The majesty and grandeur of the English language. It's the greatest possession we have. The noblest thoughts that ever flowed through the hearts of men are contained in its extraordinary, imaginative, and musical mixtures of sounds. And that's what you set out to conquer, Eliza. And conquer it you will. The majesty of language is not in no, don't, disaster, horrible, gross. The majesty and grandeur of any language is in the word joy and happiness and harmony and hope and faith. So look at your words. When you change your words, you change your thoughts. And when you change your thoughts, you change your reality, change your life. Thank you.